This is a $1 billion super yacht, and it's big enough to hold an entire city on the water.
How do humans build this stuff?
And I'm gonna show you the difference between this and a $300 million mega yacht, a $50 million giga yacht, all the way down to this $1 yacht. Why did
This video looks like a billionaire flex. A $1 boat, a $50 million mega yacht, a $300 million floating palace, and then a so-called $1 billion yacht big enough to feel like a city. But that's not the real story. Because the shocking part isn't what these boats cost to buy. It's what this video likely cost to film. And once you run the numbers, this may not be a yacht video at all. It may be one of the smartest product funnels MrBeast has ever built. Because what most people see is luxury. What MrBeast sees is a machine. A machine that turns curiosity into retention, retention into views, and views into millions. Video concept and duration. On the surface, the idea is simple. MrBeast starts with the worst possible boat experience, a yacht he buys for just $1, and then keeps escalating the fantasy. From a sinking wreck to a modest $1 million boat, then 10 million, then 25, then 50, then 300 million, and finally, the $1 billion yacht, which is really the payoff shot of the whole concept. That structure is why the idea works instantly. You don't need backstory. You don't need rules. You don't need context. The second you hear $1 versus $1 billion yacht, your brain already understands the game. You want to see the difference. You want to see the absurdity. And most importantly, you want to know how far this can possibly go. That's the trap. Every boat is just a stepping stone to the next one. The video itself runs just under 15 minutes, but the actual production almost certainly did not. A shoot like this likely took multiple filming days, probably closer to 4 to 6 operational days, plus heavy prep, marine logistics, celebrity coordination, safety planning, and post-production. And that matters, because in MrBeast economics, runtime is tiny, but execution is massive. And the objective? Not just to show wealth. To weaponize escalation. Every minute answers one question and creates a bigger one. If the $1 boat is sinking, what does the next one look like? If the $25 million yacht gets pizza delivered by helicopter, what happens on the $50 million one? If the $300 million yacht already feels impossible, what could possibly justify $1 billion? That is why this concept is instantly viral. It's not a yacht tour. It's a price ladder with suspense built into every rung. Participants breakdown. Now look at who's on camera. At first, it's the core Beast crew. Jimmy, Chandler, Carl, Nolan, Chris, and supporting personalities drifting in and out depending on the segment. That matters financially because MrBeast doesn't cast anonymous silence. He casts chemistry. His friends are not just passengers. They are reaction engines. They turn expensive things into relatable things. A normal luxury tour would show marble floors, polished wood, and designer interiors. MrBeast shows people panicking on a sinking boat, arguing about bidets, throwing themselves into the water, screaming over pizza, and getting lost on a yacht the size of a mansion. That translates into two kinds of value. First, visual scale. A boat never looks big until people disappear inside it. Room never feels luxurious until you watch someone react to it. Massive deck doesn't feel massive until a crew member runs across it like a kid in a playground. Second, cost implication. Even when the on-camera cast is mostly in-house talent, they still trigger real spend. Transport, wardrobe continuity, food, marine transfers, accommodations, releases, schedule coordination, and additional safety oversight. And then the video raises the stakes by adding outside faces. Pete Davidson appears in the $50 million segment. Tom Brady appears in the $300 million segment. And later, around 400 subscribers are brought onto the cruise ship finale. That last number is huge. Because once subscribers enter the frame, the video stops being a yacht comparison and becomes an event. Now you're dealing with guest management, cabin assignments, waivers, security.check-in, coordination, potential travel support, and hospitality. That is no longer a few creators on a boat. That is live audience logistics. Even clothing and props play into the cost structure. MrBeast doesn't need elaborate costumes here, but he does rely on clean, bright, readable visuals, recognizable faces, high-contrast outfits, product packaging, food props, jet skis, footballs, pizza boxes, and branded feastables moments. None of it is random. It all helps the frame feel full, active, and expensive. And that's the hidden genius. The people are not there to explain the yachts. They are there to scale the yachts emotionally. MrBeast team and production scale. This is where the cost starts to explode. Because a video like this is not filmed by a few guys with cameras. It's a marine production. You likely have a traveling field unit handling cameras, audio, batteries, drone footage, waterproof gear, data wrangling, and continuity. You likely have producers coordinating time windows with yacht operators, captains, crew managers, celebrity teams, and passenger access. You likely have operations staff managing food, vans, luggage, tenders, docks, manifests, and emergency contingencies. You likely have security and medical oversight, especially once you put creators, guests, helicopters, jet skis, and high-value vessels into one schedule. And that's before post. MrBeast's style depends on aggressive editorial shaping. Fast cuts. Retention-driven pacing, text overlays, music hits. Call-forward graphics, reaction compression, jokes tightened to the frame, and seamless movement between wildly different environments. So the real team is two teams, the shoot team and the edit team. A reasonable estimate for active on-location production is somewhere around 40 to 60 people once you combine Beast staff with marine support, coordinators, safety, and vendor-side personnel. Not all of those people are Beast employees, but they are absolutely part of the production footprint. Post-production likely adds multiple editors, assistant editors, sound, color, graphics, and review layers. And there's another detail people miss. The boats themselves come with crew. The transcript mentions the $50 million yacht with a 20-person crew and the $300 million yacht with over 50 crew members. The cruise ship finale goes far beyond that, with Harmony of the Seas publicly listed at more than 2,200 crew members supporting full operations, though obviously not all of them exist for the video alone. Still, the production is piggybacking on enormous operational infrastructure. That's the complexity. MrBeast didn't just rent luxury. He rented systems. Floating systems. And systems are expensive even when the camera only shows fun. Video performance. Now let's talk about the scoreboard. Because all of this only makes sense if the performance is monstrous. And it was. The video currently surfaces at about 545.9 million views. According to Time, it reportedly hit 47 million views in its first 24 hours, becoming the second most watched non-music YouTube video in that time frame when it launched. That kind of opening is not normal. That is event-level distribution. Search results also surface about 167,000 comments, which tells you something important. This was not just passively viewed. It was actively discussed. Like counts are not consistently exposed across every public interface today, but for a MrBeast video at this scale, you're safely in the realm of elite engagement. For ad revenue modeling, the important piece is RPM. TubeBuddy notes that many creators see RPMs around $5 to $7 per 1,000 views, while the broader entertainment range can dip lower or climb higher depending on geography, season, and advertiser demand. For a MrBeast-style global entertainment video, a usable working range is $3 to $10 RPM, with a base case around $5.50. And geography matters. A view from the US, Canada, the UK, or Australia typically monetizes better than a view from lower ad spend regions. MrBeast's audience is global, which is good for scale, but it can drag blended RPM down compared with a highly US concentrated finance or business channel. So yes, 545 million views is incredible. But massive views don't automatically mean massive profit. Not when the production itself is this expensive. And that's where the real puzzle begins. Do the clean math first. Formula: views divided by 1,000 times RPM. With 545,875,229 views. At $3 RPM, the video generates about $1.64 million. At $5.50 RPM, about $3.00 million. At $7 RPM, about $3.82 million. At $10 RPM, about $5.46 million. So the realistic ad revenue zone is wide, but the base case estimate is roughly $3 million. That sounds huge. And it is. But this is MrBeast. Huge revenue is competing against huge cost. Sponsorship revenue. Now comes the murkier part. This video includes a clear product push for Feastables, and it also includes Pete Davidson cross-promoting Bupkis on Peacock. That creates at least two monetization possibilities. 1. A paid or subsidized promotional arrangement tied to Peacock or talent coordination. 2. Internal sponsorship value from Feastables, which functions like an in-house advertiser. There is no public line item showing exactly what changed hands for this specific upload, so the safest move is to estimate. For a MrBeast video with this reach, a conservative external sponsorship equivalent estimate is around $500,000 to $1.25 million, with a base case near $750,000. Could it be higher? Yes. But conservative analysis wins here. Because the bigger hidden monetization isn't the outside sponsor. It's the inside one. Other revenue sources. This is where the video gets really smart. At the end, Jimmy tells viewers there is a secret MrBeast video that will never be uploaded to YouTube, and the only way to watch it is by buying a Feastables product and scanning the QR code. That is not a normal shout-out. That is a direct response sales funnel. And Yahoo Finance reports that Feastables generated about $250 million in annual sales and more than $20 million in profit, while MrBeast's media division produced similar sales but lost money overall. That one data point changes how you should read this entire video. Because now the yachts are not just content. They are top-of-funnel customer acquisition for chocolate. So what is the likely value here? A fair estimate is that this video drove somewhere between $1.5 million and $4 million in attributable Feastables gross sales uplift over its promotional window. But gross sales are not the same as profit. So for the purpose of real financial analysis, I'd convert that into a more conservative net contribution estimate of roughly $400,000 to $1 million, depending on conversion and margin assumptions. Then there's the long tail. Clips, secondary channel impact, global dubbed ecosystem, social reposts, earned media coverage, catalog value over time. Conservatively, you could add another $150,000 to $400,000 in economic value there. Total revenue estimate. So here's the clean summary. Base case. YouTube ads, $3.0 million. Sponsorship/promo value, $0.75 million. Feastables net contribution estimate, $0.75 million. Long tail/ancillary value, $0.25 million. Estimated total economic revenue, about $4.75 million. If you strip out the product ecosystem and only count media revenue, you're closer to $3.75 million. That difference is everything, because it tells you whether this was a video or a business operation disguised as a video. Full cost breakdown. Now for the part everyone waits for. The cost. And this is where things get messy, because MrBeast did not publicly publish a budget sheet for this episode. So the only honest way to do this is to build a realistic production model based on marine access, charter comps, filming scale, and the specific stunts we see on camera. Set design and location access. The cheapest boat is ironically not free. Yes, he bought the first boat for $1. But then it had to be inspected, moved, launched, filmed, and likely recovered after it started sinking. So the $1 gag probably behaves more like a $5,000 to $15,000 segment once transport and handling are included. Then the costs climb fast. A $1 million yacht segment may only require a modest day access agreement or short charter. Call that $10,000 to $25,000. A $10 million yacht can reasonably land in the $20,000 to $50,000 range for a tightly managed filming window. A $25 million yacht, especially one large enough to hold around 150 people and support heavy activity, likely sits more in the $75,000 to $150,000 all-in access zone. For the $50 million yacht, we finally have a size clue. The video describes it as roughly 234 feet long with a 20-person crew. Comparable mega charter listings around the 200-foot class can start around $586,000 per week, which implies a very expensive daily equivalent shoot once you factor minimum booking behavior, fuel, provisioning, and filming complications. A realistic estimate for access and operations here is $175,000 to $300,000. The $300 million yacht is even worse for the budget. This is not just longer, it's rarer, harder to access, crew heavy, and more sensitive from a permission standpoint. For a vessel with 50-plus crew members, 6 floors, 9 master bedrooms, high-end interiors, a helipad, and luxury feature areas, I'd estimate $450,000 to $900,000 for meaningful filming access, staffing disruption, marine handling, and owner/operator compensation. And then we hit the big twist. The $1 billion yacht was not really a private yacht. It was the cruise ship Harmony of the Seas. Cruise Hive identifies it as a ship that can carry 6,687 guests and over 2,200 crew, while Emma Cruises reports that MrBeast brought around 400 subscribers on board and even used a high-end suite as a production office. That matters because he likely didn't buy billion-dollar access. He negotiated filming access plus a large-scale hospitality experience. My conservative estimate for that final segment, including production accommodations and guest experience support, is $600,000 to $1.2 million. Production cost. Now add the actual shoot. A traveling marine production with cameras, drones, audio, waterproof backups, media management, and field coordination can burn money fast. A reasonable estimate. Field crew and producer payroll, $120,000 to $220,000. Camera, drone, audio, backups, and specialist rentals, $50,000 to $100,000. Post-production editing, graphics, music finishing, color, captions, delivery, $100,000 to $200,000. That puts direct production in the range of $270,000 to $520,000. And with MrBeast, post isn't optional polish. Post is the engine that turns chaos into retention. Participant cost. Now move the people. Flights, hotels, ground transport, marine tenders, scheduling buffers, wardrobe handling, per diems, celebrity windows. For core cast, support staff, and operational team, I'd estimate $150,000 to $300,000. Then you have the subscriber component. Even if not every expense was fully covered in cash, the moment you bring 400 subscribers into a real-world experience, you are carrying serious hospitality cost. A reasonable incremental guest management and support estimate is $250,000 to $500,000, depending on how much travel assistance and cruise value was absorbed by the arrangement. Daily operations. This is the boring category, which means it's the one most people ignore. Food, water, dock fees, fuel, tenders, jet ski handling, equipment shuttles, garbage removal, on-site runners, marine coordination. That can easily sit around $100,000 to $250,000 across a multi-day shoot, especially once you remember that every location change on water is slower and more expensive than it looks on camera. Giveaway value. This video doesn't hand out cash in the classic MrBeast way. It does something subtler. It gives subscribers an experience. At the end, the subscribers are told they're getting a free 3-night cruise. That is effectively prize value. And even if the true internal cost was discounted or subsidized, it still has economic value. Conservative estimate, $300,000 to $600,000. Special elements. These are the flashy spikes. Pizza delivered by helicopter. That's not cheap. Add helicopter booking, pilot coordination, marine landing complexity, and stunt buffer, and you can justify $20,000 to $50,000 there. Then factor jet ski usage, celebrity hosting logistics, football setup with Tom Brady, specialty catering, and small feature moments. This category could plausibly total $75,000 to $175,000. Hidden costs. This is the killer category. Insurance, legal permissions, marine filming approvals, safety systems, emergency medical readiness, liability exposure around watercraft and passengers, port fees, contingency, potential taxes, and local service layers. For a shoot like this, hidden costs are not tiny. They are structural. I'd assign $300,000 to $700,000 here. And that may still be conservative. Total cost reveal, climax. So after all of that, what's the real estimated cost? Not the sticker price of the yachts. The production cost of the video. My conservative range is $3.6 million to $4.8 million. And my base case estimate is about $4.0 million. That's the number where the puzzle starts to make sense. Because suddenly the title feels different. This wasn't really $1 versus $1 billion yacht. It was closer to, can we turn a $4 million production into a cultural event? Profit/loss analysis. Now let's compare the two scoreboards. Because there are really two businesses inside this one upload. Scoreboard 1. Media only. If we only count YouTube ad revenue, possible external sponsorship/promo value, then the base case revenue is about $3.75 million against a base case cost of $4.0 million. That means media only, this video was likely around minus $250,000, a slight loss, or close to break even. And that lines up with the bigger MrBeast story. Yahoo Finance reported that his media business has generated massive sales while still losing money overall, because the scale of his productions is so extreme. Scoreboard 2. Full ecosystem economics. Now add feastables conversion value, long-tail catalog value, brand halo. Then total economic revenue rises to around $4.75 million against the same $4.0 million cost. That means a likely base case result of plus $750,000. Not a ridiculous profit, not a giant margin, but a strategic win. And here's the twist most people miss. Advanced metrics. Now let's turn the whole thing into elite creator economics. Using the $4.0 million cost base and 545.9 million views. Cost per view. $4 million divided by 545,875,229 equals about $0.0073 per view. That means every view cost roughly 0.73 cents cost per 1,000 views. About $7.33 per 1,000 views. That's your true production side CPM. Revenue per view. Using the $4.75 million total economic revenue estimate. $4,750,000 divided by 545,875,229 equals about $0.0087 per view. So revenue per view is roughly 0.87 cents economic revenue per 1,000 views. About $8.70 per 1,000 views ROI. $4.75 million to $4.0 million divided by $4.0 million equals 18.75%. So the likely ecosystem ROI is around 19%. But the media-only ROI? Negative to flat. And that is the entire MrBeast business model in one frame. He does not just optimize for ad payout. He optimizes for empire payout. Why this video was worth it. Even if this video had only barely broken even, it was still worth it. Because MrBeast doesn't measure success like a normal creator. A normal creator asks, how much did this upload make? MrBeast asks, what does this upload unlock? This video unlocked scale. It reinforced the idea that his channel is where the internet goes to see impossible things. It fed subscriber growth. It fed trust. It fed brand status. And maybe most importantly, it fed product demand. Yahoo Finance's reporting makes this crystal clear. The Beast ecosystem has bigger ambitions than ad revenue, and Feastables has become a serious business in its own right. So when MrBeast puts chocolate inside a spectacle this large, he isn't just inserting a brand deal. He's rerouting attention into ownership. That's why the video is strategically brilliant. Because even if the yachts themselves are rented, the attention is owned. And once attention is owned, every upload can sell the next thing. the next product, the next giveaway, the next launch, the next legend. So yes, even a thin margin video here is still a long-term win, because it makes the next click easier. And on YouTube, that compounds faster than almost anything else. Psychology and retention engine. This is the part that separates a rich video from a viral one. The yacht video is built on psychological layering. First, contrast. The first boat sinks. That instantly resets the audience's expectations. You're not watching a polished luxury tour anymore. You're watching chaos. And chaos is sticky. Then comes progressive reward. Each new boat is better than the last. That creates a loop in the viewer's brain. If this one is crazy, the next one must be crazier. Then comes withheld payoff. Time specifically highlighted that the billion-dollar finale doesn't arrive until the last few minutes. That is not an accident. MrBeast spends most of the runtime making you earn the last reveal. He keeps the biggest prize off-screen long enough that your curiosity starts doing the work for him. Then comes surprise injection. Pete Davidson, Tom Brady, helicopter pizza, a random neighboring boater mooning them, Nolan getting lost, the robotic bar, the carousel, the sports floor. These moments are not central to the title, which is exactly why they work. They create microspikes of novelty inside the macro promise. So even if a viewer came for the billion-dollar boat, they stay because every 2 minutes something unpredictable happens. Then there's participation fantasy. The cruise ship section changes the emotional contract. Up to that point, viewers are watching MrBeast enjoy impossible luxury. Then suddenly subscribers show up and become part of the experience. Now the viewer isn't just thinking, "Wow, that's cool." They're thinking, "That could be me next time." That is insanely powerful, because aspiration becomes accessible. Not actually accessible, of course, but narratively accessible. And that's enough. Finally, there's identity reinforcement. The video makes viewers feel smart for watching something big. It makes them feel included in internet history. It makes them feel like MrBeast videos are not just uploads, but events you're supposed to witness. That is retention gold. Because once content feels like an event, leaving early feels like missing out. And that's exactly what he wants. Virality factors. Now let's break down why this title and thumbnail were almost unfair. The title, $1 versus $1 billion yacht. It's brutally simple. No fluff, no extra context, no cleverness. Just a giant number gap and an object everyone understands. That's perfect. Because the human brain loves extremes. $1 versus $1 billion is not just a comparison. It's a story in 6 words. And the thumbnail does the rest. Small broken boat. Massive golden dream boat. MrBeast in the middle. Left side equals failure. Right side equals fantasy. Center equals familiar face. Even the structure of the video matches the title psychology. You start at embarrassment. You climb through luxury. You end in absurdity. And then he adds shareability. People don't share this because they care about yachts. They share it because the premise is instantly understandable. Bro, you have to see the billion-dollar one. That's it. No explanation needed. Time also pointed out another key factor. MrBeast layered in classic retention tools like screen watermarks, clean transitions, graphic reminders, and surprise celebrity cameos. That means the virality didn't come from title alone. It came from packaging plus delivery. The promise was huge, and the video actually kept cashing it in. And here's the final secret. The title sells the yacht. The video sells the upgrade. That's why it travels. Because every human being understands the emotional pull of better than before. So what did this video really cost? Not $1. Not $1 billion. Probably around $4 million to create, and only barely justified if you look at ads alone. But if you look at the full MrBeast machine, the yachts were never the product. The attention was. And somehow, that might be the craziest part of the whole video. Because the moment you realize this wasn't a luxury tour, it becomes something much bigger. A masterclass. in retention and monetization, and in turning spectacle into business. And the wild part, this still doesn't feel like the ceiling. Because in the MrBeast universe, the next video always has to make this one look small.